Welcome back into the Rounding Third Baseball, episode 215. Don't badmouth umps on social media, kids. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How we doing, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. How we doing?
Doing pretty well. We got a lot to get into tonight for sure. Obviously, we got trivia at the end too, so stay around for that. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Dick's Sporting Goods, MLB Shop, and Lids. You can find these links at the tops of all of our socials. You click on these links, you buy products from these companies through those links, and we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. So if you're going to buy something from these three companies, please do it through our links on the tops of our social media pages. Thank you. Also, we have our Rounding Third merch. It has been requested. We have put the store together. It is out there. So Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy. You can find sweatshirts, t-shirts. We got some tumblers in there, phone cases, everything. So please give that a look. And if there isn't anything on there that you'd like and you'd like to see something with our logo on it, let us know. We can put it together for you. But yeah, it's there. Rounding Third Baseball on Etsy. All right, here we go. Diving right in. I want to get into this Diamondbacks Cubs game that was absolutely insane. So I was watching it in between my shifts at work. And I'm like, all right, 2-1 ball game. I shut it off. And I get a text and be like, yo, what is going on with this game? And I turned it on and it's like 5-2, then it's 12-5, and then it's like 13-12. I'm like, what is going on? So Cubs are ahead 2-1. Game's going into the bottom of the seventh inning. You know, all right, typical baseball game. Cubs then score 5 runs in the bottom of the inning to take the lead. Diamondbacks came back with 10 in the top of the 8th, and you're just like, all right, well, dang, Cubs just got punched in the mouth. Not so fast. Cubs then come back in the bottom of the 8th, score 6. Kyle Tucker hits the 2-run shot to take the lead, and then they add a few more. 2 grand slams were hit in that game. Final score 13-11 Cubs. Absolutely insane game. And if you haven't watched it and you have MLB TV or a way to find it, like go back there and watch it because that was wild.
Chaos.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. But it brings me to this question. Are the Cubs the scariest team to play at this current moment?
I think right now, yes. I think the Cubs are a team they are putting it all together. You know, we talked about they got off to a slow start with the Tokyo series, and then coming back. You know, they got off to a bit of a rocky start. And you know, like we said, this is a really good team. They're going to figure it out, and they have. Everybody's starting to hit. Kyle Tucker's a freak. The pitching has been great, even with the loss of Justin Steele. Knock on wood, they've not really felt that loss yet, and they just continue night after night to put up runs, play good baseball, and they are a team like we saw in that game. They can absolutely just come out and swarm you, and it doesn't matter who you are. Good pitcher, you know, top of the rotation, bottom of the rotation, bullpen arm, doesn't matter. They can absolutely swarm. And when they get a hit or two strung together, they will just keep stringing them together, and they just can extend that inning for forever. And God forbid you make a mistake, this team will make you pay for it.
Yep. Kyle Tucker leads the league in extra base hits right now. Corbin Carroll sits right behind him. So you got 2 of those guys in that one ball game that just going back and forth. I mean, like you said, Kyle Tucker's a freak. Ian Happ, you want to talk about somebody that is steady, right? That guy has been a staple in Chicago, where it's crazy that we were talking about. He just had his 1,000th career game with just one franchise, and which is rare nowadays, right? You don't see that. But Ian Happ's a big cog in that machine. He's a great player, both sides of the plate. It's incredible. And you have veterans that know how to win, right? Dansby Swanson, right? He might not be like the top echelon shortstop that he once was, or even if he really got to that top echelon, but he's really freaking good, right? They got some really nice pieces in that team. Pete Crow Armstrong, he can't get on base because he's like we were talking about Acuna a couple of years ago. You get him on first, he's on third. Like you might as well forget it.
Yeah, and he got off to a really slow start, and he's finally coming around too. And
Yeah.
now you've got that speed on the bases, and you've got Shaw hitting and Bush is hitting. I mean, it's just
Michael Bush is tearing the cover off the ball
everywhere up and down that lineup. They're just, Seiya Suzuki had a 2 home run game a few nights ago. It's just
Carson Kelly.
Yeah,
Carson, what? Carson Kelly hadn't even been able to find a team to stay on the last 3 or 4 years. As soon as he left Arizona, he's been everywhere. Can't find a spot. He comes here, and him and Amaya as the catching tandem, they might be the best catching tandem in the league right now. They don't lose anything. Close. No, it's wild what those two are doing right now. I mean, that whole lineup is insanely hot right now. Now, we have talked about that, though. When you are hot and you're all hot, usually what comes behind that?
Yeah, usually there's a slowdown and a bit of a cold snap.
And if you're all in that hot zone and that cold zone at the same time, it can be painful. Hang on to this, Captain. We will get to this Reds game because 24 runs today is wild.
Yeah. But I think the Cubs, the lineup is deep. Everybody's hitting. The pitching has been good. The bullpen's been good. The fan base is going nuts. That Wrigley Field, just listen to a minute for a game at Wrigley Field. That place is so loud. The fans are they're feeling like this is their year. And, we picked them to win the NL Central because I think that they are clearly the best team in that division. I think they're a sneaky team to fight for a spot in the World Series. They absolutely have the weapons to do it. They just have to stay healthy, and they've got to your point, they've got to balance the ups and the downs. They've got to be able to find a way to level this out because they started off really terrible. Now they're red hot. You got to find a way to balance that so you're not riding the roller coaster all year. But this is not a team that anybody's looking at when they're coming to town going, I can't wait to play the Cubs. Oh, no, they don't want to play the Cubs.
Yeah, I agree fully. Yeah, we might have to pivot our trip this year. Maybe we hit up both Chicago's instead of going to KC and St. Louis. But we're still in the preliminary stages of that. But
yeah, it would be. I mean, this is a team to watch this year for sure. And if you've not watched any Cubs games, do yourself a favor and find one because they do a lot of things.
Yeah, they're exciting to watch for sure. All right, let's get into this Jazz Chisholm stuff here. So ejected after a borderline pitch, doesn't go his way. Then suspended for 1 game for a social media violation. And I kind of threw in here a nice little jab at Trevor Bauer, and we still wonder why Bauer doesn't have a job. But anyways, so Chisholm pretty much just takes to social media that the umps are terrible. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was not nice. It was triggered towards the umpires. It's a social media violation. Therefore, he's suspended a game. I mean, this isn't, you can't do that. I mean, it's since been deleted and all that stuff and apologized, but I mean, it's basic baseball 101. That's the things you can't do. Bet on games and blast the league on social media. But yet we still did
it. This is one of the many things that drives me crazy with Jazz Chisholm. The dude he is nothing. He is a child. He is unable to control impulses. And was it a bad pitch? Yeah, it was a bad pitch. Like it was low. It was probably a good couple inches down off the plate. Yeah, you got hosed. But I'm sure you can go back in that same game and find some pitch that you got that the pitcher should have gotten. It happens.
Right.
But what drives me crazy with Jazz, like he can't let stuff go. And he can't control his impulses. He just has to go blast him on was it X where he posted? It doesn't even matter. Like,
yeah, right.
You can't do it. You did it anyways, and you cost yourself a game. This is the stuff he does. This is the stuff he did in Miami that caused the rest of the team to be like, I'm done with Jazz. Like, I don't want to listen to the guy anymore. He's just a big windbag. Because this is what he does. He just continues to prove that he is still a child in a grown man's game. And for all the talent he has, all the capability he has, all the good things he does, you still can't trust Jazz to just do the basic stuff, like not get in trouble. He just can't help himself.
And we had given him props the last couple weeks because he's come into this Yankees team and
Yep.
it seemed like he's accepted the culture. He's accepted the leadership from Judge and from other players on the Yankees. And like, this is how we do it on the Yankees. And then this just kind of took a big step back. I mean, I think he'll learn from it and he obviously won't do it again. Well, not obviously, but you hope he doesn't do it again.
Yeah.
But just kind of a, like you said, like impulse, like just heated in the moment, posted it on there, probably didn't think about it twice until he got a call and was like, hey, you should probably take that down. And then he'd be like, oh shit, yeah, you're right. So
yeah, just a total lapse in judgment. It's going to cost him a game for just something so stupid. And I'm sure this situation where I'm sure Aaron Judge or Aaron Boone grabbed him and said, dude, like, don't do that stuff. Like, we need you to be better than that.
Yep.
And this is an organization where they can handle that internally. Like in Miami, it just snowballed and got out of control. And a great comment in the chat. I have a coworker like him, wants to run his mouth and fight everyone. That's Jazz. Like Jazz is that guy. He is the guy that is always looking to start something and wants his voice to be heard.
What was that situation last year? He was playing third and there was like a rough breakup at second base and he was the first person over there. And it's like, dude, like where the heck did you come from? Like this situation didn't even involve you at all.
Yeah, he was in the middle of it. Garrett Cole was screaming from the mound, but in the meantime, like Jazz like charged right to second base to get right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
He just can't help himself. And, there are some situations where like, I do think that his, he has that super strong sense of team and loyalty and he'll go fight for his guys. But at the same time, you've got to know when you need to kind of tamp that down. And he doesn't have the control to modulate, how hot he gets. And he just goes off.
Yeah.
And that is in that clubhouse, they'll deal with it. Other places, this is why he wore out his welcome in Miami, because people just got tired of listening to him go every night.
Well, they learn to deal with it because they see their manager get tossed every other game, which Boone got tossed today on a legit, dirty slider to Aaron Judge. Hit the corner, perfect spot. Yeah. Got all black, great spot, and Boone gets rung up. So he goes after the home plate umpire, but then he turns around and heads for the third base umpire because there was a home run hit earlier in the game that he thought was foul that wasn't, whatever.
Yeah.
Just gets ejected and just comes
getting his money's worth.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean,
I'm going to talk to all of you before I leave.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's just that's kind of the leadership, right? Because Aaron Boone, for as much crap as we do give him for his in-game management and some of the questionable decisions he makes on the field during the game, he does back his players, and that's what you do want out of a manager. You want a guy that's going to step up and be like, oh, no. Like, you don't treat my players like that. And I'm going to tell you where to put it if you do. So, like, I do respect that about Boone tremendously.
Yeah. His players love him because nobody fights harder for them than him. And Boone has made himself, and we've even called him out on it, Boone has made himself look foolish in front of reporters defending obvious problems. He's alienated some members of the media. He's taken a lot of crap for his approach, but he absolutely defends his guys.
Yeah.
And I can respect that a lot. I still think he's not a very good in-game manager, but his players love him because there's nobody that defends them more than him.
Right. 1,000% agree.
And he's okay taking the heat for him.
Yep.
And question in the chat from just a little bit ago, what do you think of the Yankees? I mean, I think the Yankees are better than expected. I think their pitching has not been good, but we thought their pitching was going to be rough because that's where they had all their losses. But I think they're better than expected. But they are also they're hitting in a clip right now where they can't sustain that, and their splits home and away are really, really bad. Yeah. But I do think that they are better than expected. They could be a legitimate contender still. I still think they're a playoff contender. I don't know if they're a World Series contender, but they may actually be one because they are hitting that well. And having a guy like Jazz in the lineup playing is important. So that's where that 1 game suspension is just that much worse.
But the Yankees will also buy at the deadline. They do every year. They will buy somebody at the deadline. They will get the Dylan Cease. They will get the Framber Valdez. They will bulk up that pitching staff if that's what they need to do at the deadline. And that seems to be where the issue is for them mostly, I would say, is starting rotation consistency there. I mean, Stroman's now what, your number 2, your number 3? I don't even know. So like it's bad, but they'll make a move. The Yankees are far from out of it.
I mean, they're gonna have to, because if you're gonna hit like this and play this well with a pitching staff that's really kind of running on fumes, and Max Fried was great today, which was a good sign for them because he's not been. I think that's a good sign for them to see Fried go out and really shove like he did today.
Yeah,
but I think the Yankees
need
to look around. Yeah, the Yankees are gonna look around and say, okay, like we need that one arm. Let's go get it.
Yeah, and they will. I have no doubt in my mind that they will. They'll go get it. All right. Another kind of off the field / on the field thing. So Acuna calls out Snitker for Snitker not calling out Jared Kelenic for lack of hustle. Acuna said if it was him, he would have been benched, which he has been benched before. So it's just kind of like, but for me, Acuna has no room to stand right now because physically he can't, and he can't stay on the field. Like, if you're in there every game or whatever, then fine. Like, and I get that Acuna is probably, if not the leader, one of the leaders of this team.
Very much.
I get it. I really do. But it's not your place yet, buddy. You've missed so much time. And granted, ACL tears, it's a fluke injury. I get it.
Yep.
But like it's tough coming from you right now because you haven't been on the field. I get where you're coming from because you have been benched and you're just asking your manager to be consistent and he's not. I completely understand that part. Right. And Captain, I agree. He's not wrong. He really isn't. But I don't think it's right for him to say it at this moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think it's a tough spot because I agree with what you're saying, Nick. You know, when you're not out there, you're not on the team, you haven't been for like almost for over a year now. It's really kind of hard to take feedback from you because, dude, like where you been? You know, we've been playing all this time and you're not here. At the same time, this is kind of Acuna's spot as a leader to ask that question and to point out the fact that like that was a miss. And I've lived it and I'd like to believe I learned from it. And that's why it's important. So I agree with, Cabin. He's not wrong and he's not. I think it's a good spot for Acuna to raise the question. It just probably could have done it in a better way. And then they asked Snitker today if he saw the comment. He said, I heard it was taken down. I really don't know what's going on. I haven't talked to him. And this is beginning to feel like there's more problems behind the scenes in Atlanta than we're aware of. And maybe Snitker is one of them. And for those who don't know the play we're talking about, Kelenic hit a ball to the wall. He thought it was gone. He went into full on home run trot. Ball hits the wall. He's not even to first base yet. He steps on the gas and gets thrown out at second. And, he took a lot of grief from the veterans on it, and Snitker said not a word. So after the game, the media asked, what'd you say to Kelenic? And he was like, didn't think I was supposed to say anything to him other than like nice hit. And that didn't sit well with people. That's when Acuna responded. And again, this is another social media post, so obviously not the best forum to do it. And I totally agree. This is when Acuna shows leadership and goes into the clubhouse or makes a phone call. He doesn't dump it on social media. And Acuna was just saying, like, when I did this, I got benched. Like, why is this not an issue? Yeah. And I'm assuming, I'd like to believe, that the veterans on that team took care of it in the clubhouse. And I don't think you'll see Kelenic do that again. And Kelenic is the guy who, honestly, when Acuna is healthy, Kelenic's the odd man out and he's gone anyways. So it probably doesn't matter. He's probably gone in a few weeks from this team anyways. But it is very much, I believe, pointing to some issues with the Braves where maybe Snitker's not as in touch with this team as we all thought. And maybe that's part of the problem with their slow start.
Well, and I was just going to bring that up. They're also 8-13. If they're 13-8, this isn't even a story. It's
True.
because of how wretched they have started that this is a story, right?
Yeah.
I mean, usually guys that do that, they pimp a home run and then it ends up being like a fly out to the warning track, or they get hosed at second base like Kalenic did. Like everybody's laughing about it, right?
Yeah.
But when you lost your first, was it 9? Right? They started 0-9 or something
Yeah.
like that.
0-8 or 0-9.
Oh,
It was
yeah, something like that.
either way, 0 and a lot.
Right. It's different, right? Because now you're trying to dig out of a hole. You expect everybody to bust their ass all the time. And when they don't, it shows that you don't care. Again, I get it. Me personally, I don't think it was, to Cappen's point, I don't think it was done correctly. And to your point, it was on social media. I agree it should have been a face-to-face conversation. But you can't have a face-to-face conversation if you're not on the team.
If you ain't there, it's hard to be a leader from far away.
Right. So yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah.
John, you're right. It on both accounts, you know, Kalenic is this guy who is such a highly touted prospect who's just never been able to put it together and figure it out. And I think that we're seeing that, you know, as much as you want the Padres to be a dumpster fire, you know, Atlanta's got its own, at least there's at least a trash can smoldering somewhere. May not be a full on dumpster fire yet, but it could get there. This team could go right off the rails if they let this eat away at them.
The trash can's on fire. They just haven't thrown it in the dumpster yet.
Yeah, that might be where they're at. But Kalenic is a guy who's been traded 3 times now, and he was a guy who was supposed to be so good, so much talent, and he has nights where he looks so good out there, and then nights where it's just like yikes.
Yeah, because
where did this guy come from?
Came from the Mets to the Mariners and then to the Braves. Did he start? Was he a prospect with the Mets and then went to the Mariners?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, I believe so.
It was something like that. But either way, I mean, these guys are at the highest level. They should be running everything out at this point. I mean, unless you hit a 500-foot tank, which, okay, then stand there and pimp it out. But if it's borderline, and you can't tell me that major league hitters don't know when they've missed a home run or not. Right? You're like, oh, that's going to be a wall scraper. I should probably run just in case it doesn't get out.
Well, and that's the part that drives me crazy. You are scratching and clawing for everything right now. You're trying to work your way back up, but you're heading in the right direction. They're righting the ship. Would it really kill you to run hard around first base and just wait to see the ball land before you go into pimp mode? Does jogging those 7 strides make a huge difference to your home run? It doesn't. Like this is the little stupid stuff that separates the okay teams from the great teams. It's the reason guys like Jazz Chisholm don't win. It's the reason guys like Jarred Kelenic can't find a steady job. If you don't do the little things like run hard till it's gone and try to take that extra base and be smart about what you're doing on the base pass, that's why teams don't win. It's that little stuff that comes back to bite you. You're muted, Nick.
Oh, sorry. It was because I was coughing. I love it when people do that. Like it's well worth. Then you just laugh at them again after they hit you. It's like, dude, why are you even hitting me? Like you're the idiot here, dude. So
it does, like,
that's funny.
And that so much that it is a mindset. You know, are you there to win or are you there to look good? Which one is it? You know, Jarred Kelenic, was it more important that you looked good or the Braves won that night or that you got to second? And these guys they don't play the game the same way. And we can go way off the rails here, so I'll stop. But this is the reason that these players like Mookie Betts are so rare. Mookie Betts doesn't pimp anything, and he's one of the best players in the field. Freddie Freeman pimps nothing. He runs hard until the ball lands.
He hobbles hard. Let's be honest.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's at a point now in his life where he hobbles hard, but like everybody just wants to pimp it to look cool. But at what cost? Like at what cost? Right. What's more important, that you look good or that you win? Do you want a ring or a clip on ESPN? What's more important to you?
And if you want to see a guy that straight hustles out of the box every single time, I know he hasn't had the same start as the results he had in 2023, but Jaron Duran out of the box, every time he hits a ball, he is busting it. Every ground ball through the infield, he thinks he can get a double every single time. And with his speed, he possibly could. We've seen it 2 or 3 times already this year. He's hit like a weak dribbler through the infield and he's somehow sliding into second base. And you're like, dang, like I'm not expecting every guy to be able to go home to second on a base hit to right. That's not what I'm saying. But he gives himself that opportunity because one bobble, boom, he's at second base. He's got that extra base. Just run hard out of the box until you don't have to. It's either caught or it's gone or they field it cleanly. That's it. It's not tough. Now, I also get that it's a 162 game grind. You can't go 100% all the time, but that's a time where you do. You're going for extra bases there. So I don't know.
Yeah. And this is where a manager can lose a clubhouse.
Yep.
Is if the veterans see that and it pisses them off and they see the manager do nothing, that's how you lose the veterans. And when you lose the veterans, you lose the clubhouse.
Yep. 1,000%.
So the last thing you need is Sean Murphy and Matt Olson and Austin Riley and Spencer Strider and those guys. Like, what's up with Snit? Like, what happened? Oh, he doesn't care. So should we not care? Yeah. And this is when things go right south on you.
And this is probably the first time that he's like really, well, I wouldn't have to say like had to manage, but the team's really faced any adversity in the win-loss column. Yes. Tons of adversity with injuries. That's just plugging and playing guys and finding the right fit. This seems like the first time where he's had to deal with kind of like clubhouse stuff. Like, I don't know what goes on in the day-to-day. Obviously, I'm not in there. That's why I'm sitting here. But that's the difference, right? Your team's in a skid. You're in a hole. Now there's rumblings, and he's never seemed to really had to deal with that.
No.
Until now.
We're going to find out in the next few days just how good a manager Brian Snitker is.
Yep. Agree. All right. Jung-Ho Lee hit all 3 of his home runs so far this year at Yankee Stadium. I just went in there and absolutely destroyed the Yankees by himself. He's batting .361, 26 hits, 19 runs, 14 RBIs right now. He is my comeback player of the year pick. So I just want to throw that out there. So after 1 month, it's looking pretty good. But how much of a difference maker is this guy for the Giants?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's massive to have that bat at the top of the order and hitting. I mean, he was my rookie of the year pick last year. He got off to a great start, got hurt, and then was gone. And that Giants team just never recovered. They had that constant hole at the top where they just could not get anything going. And him coming in, hitting, he also plays a pretty good center field. He flies around that outfield. He has been such a spark plug for that team, and having his bat back in the lineup has completely changed the dynamics of that batting order. Guys are back in spots they're supposed to be in. We're seeing Mike Yastrzemski get off to a good start. Chapman looks good. The whole lineup is kind of settling in. And I think so much has to do with the fact that he is healthy and he's back.
Yeah. They just lost 3-4. We are going to talk about the Angels tonight too, so hang on. But I mean, the Giants are 14-8 to start the year, and we're sitting here being like, they're probably the 4th place team. Rockies obviously 5th. I mean, there's still tons of baseball left, right? We've played 22 games. Like, I get it, but I think the Giants are better than what we thought, and like we said, they're just in probably the worst division to be in baseball. But
the Giants probably win 4 other divisions in baseball. Maybe at least 3. And yet they're completely loaded or behind completely loaded teams.
Yeah. He's crazy on defense too. I mean, that's how he injured his shoulder last year, was he made a catch going up against the wall. And that's what took him out last year.
He covers a lot of ground.
The NL West is stacked, man. I mean, it's
just not right.
It isn't. All the talent's there. They're fun to watch, but I mean, the Diamondbacks aren't playing terrible baseball, and they're sitting in 4th.
Yeah, I mean, the Diamondbacks are 13-9. They'd be leading, or at least tie for the lead in like 3 of the divisions. and they're in
Yep.
4th place, 2.5 games back.
And I completely agree with this, John. This could be a year where we see all 4 teams get in, depending on how, if they all go 500 against themselves, but they beat up on everybody else in the league, they literally, you could get 4 teams out of one division. They want to go to the AL West. I mean, I would. Wouldn't you?
I think a lot of teams want to.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
if I'm the Giants, unfortunately, geographically, it'd be a tough argument, but I'd be willing to go anywhere but the NL West.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Put me in the AL East. I don't care. Just get me out of the NL West.
Yeah, please.
We'll travel across the country for every road game. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. Jacob deGrom loses a pitcher's duel to Yamamoto Friday night, 1-0, 7 Ks against the Dodgers, and looks to be back in form. But I asked you, is he back for good? Back for real?
Maybe. I mean, the problem is every time Jacob deGrom comes back, he looks like he's back for real until he gets hurt again. I mean, I will say he has looked better coming back from the surgery than he's looked in the past when he's come back from injuries. He hasn't been so kind of shaky or been so slow to get ready. I think having a full spring training helps. I mean, he hasn't had, long stretches of health for a while, and he looks great. And when he is dialed in like he's been lately, he just messes with batters. He is so fun to watch. You can't do anything against him. He still will have an off night now and then, but his off nights aren't really even that bad. But he pitched great against the Dodgers in this game, and Yamamoto was excellent. Just tons of contact, soft contact.
Yeah,
But
if
he's back for real, look out.
He's given you 21 2/3 in 4 starts. I mean, that's what you're asking for, right? 5+ innings to start.
Yeah, 5 1/3 per start.
20 strikeouts. He's got a 1 whip. And he, lost a tough one. His ERA is 3.32, which is quote unquote way higher than what we're used to seeing. But again, it's early. There's not a lot of innings, not a lot of runs to get you to a 3 ERA. But
yeah, that could be just one bad inning can float your ERA up that high,
right,
this early. But at the same time, I will say DeGrom's velocity looks like it's a little bit down. And I do think part of that is maybe him backing off a little bit and realizing, look, I don't have to throw 98, 95 will work.
Right.
I need to stay healthy and actually get through some games.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to put these comments right back to back. He's lethal until he hurts himself.
Yes. That is the story of his career.
Yeah. I mean, you both of you nailed it. He is. When he is right, DeGrom is, I would say, one of the best pitchers, if not the best pitcher that we've seen in our generation. In this generation of baseball, I should say.
He may be one of the handful of best pitchers I've ever seen in my life when he's healthy.
Yeah. Oh, hands down. Like, I mean, up there with like Pedro, disgusting, right? Randy Johnson, disgusting. But I mean, he just can't stay on the field. We've talked about him. He's in our what if list.
Yep.
Right. He's one of the biggest what ifs. Him, Mike Trout was getting in there. I mean, Mike Trout's had a bounce back so far. Hopefully he can stay healthy. But I can't even imagine what his numbers would look like if he didn't lose all that time to injury. It would be disgusting, some of the numbers he was putting up.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you haven't gotten a full season of DeGrom since 2020, which was a short season. And I mean, he won the Cy Young in 18, Cy Young in 19, finished third in the Cy Young voting in 2020. He pitched half the season in 21 and finished in the top 10 for the Cy Young then.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how good he is. There are very few guys in baseball like him. The problem is he just can't get in the field. And if he is back, like if he can actually pitch a whole season, that makes all the difference in the AL West.
Yeah. Yeah, agree. So we'll keep an eye on him. I just want him to stay on the field for a full year. Like, I just want to see what a full body of work looks like for him at this stage of his career. Because he's also getting up there, right? Isn't he 34, 35?
He's 36. He turns 37.
36.
He turns 37 in June. I mean, you're into the last 2 years of his career already.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
and
crazy, man.
it's sad to say already. I mean, he's been around for 12 years, but he didn't make the major leagues till he was 26. So, I mean, he's kind of in the end.
On the low end, Roy Halladay, is that who you meant? Roy Halladay? And on the top end, whew, I don't know. If we didn't lose all those years, what would you think his top end like comparison would be? Are
Well, I
we
mean, he would have
talking are we
he would have been the
talking
right.
Pedro, Randy Johnson?
I mean, he would have been the right hand of Randy Johnson for sure. I mean, he would have been better than Pedro. He'd have blown Pedro out of the water.
Yeah, I mean, to think that he's 37 this year it blows my mind too, John. I knew he was getting up there, but I didn't realize it was 37. That's crazy.
The problem is we've lost
Uh,
4 years to injuries.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
piles up fast.
Yeah. I mean, definitely it's hard. Does he have the compilation of numbers to get him into the Hall of Fame?
No,
No.
not even close. He's 84 career wins.
Yeah.
I mean,
I-
there's no scenario unless he pitches like 10 more years, where he's a Hall of Famer. He'll be one of those guys we will forever talk about as what if he was one of the
Yeah.
best guys of his era when he was healthy. And
Yeah.
every conversation with Jacob deGrom is going to end with when he was healthy.
Right. And Jax, I'm with you here. He has been around for a long time, but we've just lost so much to injury that doesn't seem possible either at the same time. Like,
Well, I
crazy.
think the hard part with DeGrom too is that like when he does come back, he still has it, and he knows he still has it, and that's why he keeps pushing through all these injuries. Because honestly, there were questions about this last Tommy John. Why does he keep going? Like, why doesn't he just say, "Forget it, I'm done"? Like, I don't want to put my body through another surgery, another rehab. And when he was asked that question, it was because I know I can still do it, and I want to do it. Like, I still want to play.
Well, because he hasn't done it.
Right.
I mean, when you haven't played in 6 years, like because of injury, like it hasn't gone anywhere. You haven't, he hasn't used the bullets in his shoulder because he just hasn't been able to. But
No.
crazy.
But baseball fans and baseball deserves a healthy year of Jacob deGrom. Like, we have waited for 4 years to see this guy pitch a full season, and by God, it's finally time for him to pitch a full season. We have earned that because watching him for a whole year is something different.
Yes, I agree fully. All right. So staying with the pitcher train here, we got Kodai Senga. Currently has a .79 ERA, is on an 18 2/3 of an inning scoreless streak. Is the Mets starting pitching the early surprise of the season?
Yes. They've given up the second fewest runs in all of baseball. They're only 1 run worse than the Padres, who have been lights out. The Mets starting pitching, we railed on all offseason. Just no depth. They're not going to get people out. And now, do I think the Mets pitching will be this good all year? Absolutely not. They have been the pitching has been red hot. They've also faced, I feel like they played the Marlins like every night. So they've had a really soft schedule the last couple weeks. They started off a little hard. They've had a softer schedule the last couple weeks. So I think that's part of it. But yes, the Mets starting pitching being good at all is a surprise.
Yeah, I'm with you. We sat here in the preseason, we're being like, yeah, the Mets will score runs, but how in the heck are they going to prevent them? I mean, they're banking on Clay Holmes, and he's had a decent start for them. So maybe the Mets found something in Clay Holmes, and it's clicked for him. Maybe it's because he can grow facial hair now. I don't know, but it's making a difference. And getting Senga back, and a healthy Senga back, is also a huge part of that as well. But
yeah, I mean, and so last week the Mets had the Twins and the Cardinals. Okay,
yeah,
not a tough stretch there. Not exactly. Then they had the Athletics before that. They had the Marlins before that. I mean, they have played such a soft schedule.
yeah,
Like maybe they and the Angels have probably the softest schedule we've seen to start the season. So I don't put a lot of stock in where they're at right now. But the fact that they're pitching as well as they have, these are all major league teams. You can't take that away from them, but
right.
they haven't played anybody good yet. like you give them a few weeks through going through that NL East, and then let's talk about the team ERA and how many runs they've given up, because it'll look a whole lot different.
Or a West Coast trip.
Yeah, forget about that. I mean, that's a whole that's a gauntlet.
Yeah.
But yeah, is it the surprise? The two surprises I think are their pitching, and the second we'll get to with the Angels. But I think that they've been great on the mound because their offense has been very shaky, and the pitching being good has been a big savior for them.
Yeah. Yeah, if at the early surprise of the season, if it's not the Met starters, it's the Padres start after we crown the Dodgers as the baseball's gift to everybody. I agree with that point fully. Baseball history dork, DeGrom should have been converted to an outfielder years ago.
Yeah,
don't disagree.
Go the Rick Ankiel path.
Yeah, because DeGrom can rake. He can hit.
He can hit.
So, all right, staying with the Mets. Is Pete Alonso silencing the teams that doubted him this offseason during free agency with the start that he's having? 356 average, 6 homers, 23 RBIs, 467 OBP. According to Soto, not good enough. But to Alonso, I mean, is he silencing everybody that doubted him right now?
I mean, Pete Alonso right now is the best signing of the offseason for the Mets. Period. End of story. He's outperformed Soto. He has outperformed. He's been the most important player in that lineup. And you know, Frankie Lindor got up to a cold start. He had a big walk-off home run for them the other night.
Yeah.
Soto's gotten off to a cold start and somehow is blaming Pete Alonso for that. Well, Pete Alonso just rakes. So yes, Pete Alonso is absolutely proving to everybody that he deserved better consideration than he got. And he's been the best signing the Mets made this offseason.
Yeah, I agree.
And John's right. After the circus of an offseason, he is absolutely living up to what he thought he was worth. And yeah, John, the video of Alonso legging out the triple, how like wobbly his legs got around second base going into third. I didn't think he was going to make it. Yeah. It's one of the funniest videos I've ever seen.
Yeah. Those videos are always funny when you can see the runner start to get like over, past the center of gravity over their legs, and they're just like they get the arms swimming trying to stay up.
Oh, and he was running so hard and going nowhere. Like it looked like he was sprinting on a treadmill.
Yeah, absolutely. Nope. What's going on, Jack? Good to see you back, buddy. Man, yeah. All right, Harrison. Is it time to be in on the Angels? Neto is back for the Angels. Put a spark right in that team immediately. They keep playing well. Granted, like you said, kind of a soft schedule, but they still got to go out there and win games, and they are.
Still got to win.
So they're winning games against the teams they should. They scored 4 in the 9th to come back and win tonight. So, they're not out of games. They're putting, good at-bats together. They're stringing hits together. They're doing what needs to be done to win. My question is, do they pass the eyeball test as a sleeper team?
I think they pass the eyeball test as, I guess as a sleeper team, no, this is not a playoff team. But I think when we did the prediction show and we talked about them during the spring, this is a team that is going to be pesky. They're much improved over last year. Mike Trout is back. Let's hope he stays. But they're not going to be anything but a pest all season. They and the A's are going to sit in the bottom of that division, and they're going to steal some games from teams they don't expect to lose. They're not a doormat. They're going to make life hard. They're going to rip off some winning streaks. They're also going to get rolled over for a while. This is not a team that's ready to be a serious contender, but they're not a joke anymore. Like that lineup is good. The rotation is okay. The bullpen is okay. And they are going to make a little bit of noise. But, they're probably a 500 team at best.
Yeah, the Angels are the team that, I can see later in the year when the Red Sox have to, win 2 out of 3, or the Orioles have to win 2 out of 3, or some team that needs to get into that wild card spot goes to play the Angels. And they're like, hey, we need to win 2 out of 3. And the Angels are like, sorry, we're just going to sweep you right now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what they seem like they're shaping up to be. They got some nice pieces on that team, though. They really did a good
do.
job making that team better this offseason. They really did. Their lineup is good. And I've found myself watching more Angels games lately. It helps that Trout is back and he's raking. But it's fun to watch the rest of that lineup. So they're exciting to watch.
Yeah, but the
Are
other
they
night,
playoff team? No.
yeah, but the other night's a perfect example of Angels baseball. Mike Trout hits 2 home runs, they lose 3-2.
3-2. Yeah, I texted that to you. I was like,
yeah,
damn.
I mean, I'm watching the game and I'm just like, this is great, but they can't do anything other than what Trout does. And I remember back in January, February, I was talking about the fact that I thought the Angels could be a team that, may be able to hang around. And you kind of laughed at me. Then we broke the lineup down and we were like, actually, this is not that bad a team.
Right.
Solaris hit some moonshots. They have, Renjifo's, he's healthy. The whole, they look good. And O'Hoppy's a monster behind the plate.
And Sean and Well.
Yes, I will eventually get his name right consistently, but
just say Sean Noel.
Yeah, Sean Noel. Yep, Sean Noel.
Yeah,
but I mean that is a team. You're right. They are going to play spoiler. They're going to steal games from teams they shouldn't lose. But
this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. Yes. This is what they'll do again this year.
Yeah, Mariners lost 6 out of 7 down the stretch last year to them, and it cost them a playoff spot. That is going to be this team's role. They are going to chip away at teams all year, and they are going to ruin a couple of seasons by just stealing wins when teams need them. And that's what they're going to do.
Yep. I agree.
Because if I'm a playoff team, or really at any point in the season, it used to be, I'm going to Anaheim. This will be easy. Nice weather. We'll go and smoke these fools. That's not how it is anymore. Same thing with playing Oakland and Sacramento. You're going out west. You're like, hey, good weather. Going to go smoke these fools. You're not. Like, these are good. These teams are good. They're not playoff teams yet, but they're not a doormat anymore.
Dude, all those games in Sacramento are like 12-8, 13-7.
It's a home run derby.
Oh my goodness, dude. And I've heard the announcers talk about it. It's not even like prime home run hitting weather there yet. They said in the summer and the breeze comes off the ocean and just pushes everything out there. Like, we're going to see some crazy games out there for sure.
Yeah, and I believe Sacramento's got a little bit of elevation, so the ball even carries better. Like, that place is a launch pad.
Yeah, nuts.
And Tyler Soderstrom is absolutely taking advantage of it.
We will get to him in a second for sure. All right, Harrison. I'm sorry.
I know. I don't want to talk about it, but we have to.
Your Royals. What do the Royals need to do to turn the season around for them?
They need somebody else in that lineup to hit. It's been the Bobby Witt. Bobby Witt walked him off again today. If he doesn't do it, nobody does. Salvi's hitting low 200s. Pasquatch hitting low 200s. India's had some stretches, and it's been, Garcia, Melendez. It's been, you're getting one other guy maybe who's hitting, but that lineup has just not clicked yet. And they are pitching well. They've scored like the 3rd fewest runs in the American League. They just can't score. They can't put anything together. And it's frustrating to watch. It's so frustrating to watch. Actually, it looks like they're now tied for the fewest runs scored in the American League with the Rangers. They've fallen that they're a minus 24.
Yeah.
They just can't score any runs. I mean, the White Sox have outscored them by a run. They can't score. They can't score. And I think they will be better. The lineup will be fine. But it's been a rough April watching everyone in the lineup but Bobby Witt just struggle.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Witt does nothing for you if he hits 435 and 70 because there's nobody on base. That does nothing for you. You need at least 2 other guys in that lineup to either A, be on base or to drive him in after, and they're just not.
Yeah, and John, you're right. They do have the least home runs in baseball as well. It's been like a total power outage for them the last week and a half. Yeah. And the hard part is they're not getting blown out. They're losing so many close games, but they just can't manage to score any runs.
Well, honestly, other than Witt, who's your power guy? I wouldn't call Pasquantino a power guy. He's an 18 to 20 homers guy. Is that nice? Yeah, but it's not a 30 home run guy. Is Witt your only guy?
This is not a home run hitting team necessarily. I mean, Pasquatch is, he's a 20 to 25 and 100 guy. That's who he is. And which is great. I mean, that's fine. Salvi, I don't know at this point in his career what he really is. This is not a team built on the long ball. This is a team built on getting on base using their speed. They're going to manufacture more runs and they're going to hit home runs, but they've hit nothing. And then Witt gets on and is standing there watching Pasquantino and Salvi just flail. So is this a team reliant upon the home run? No. The fact they've hit like literally none in the last week or two is frustrating.
Yeah. Salvi's a power guy too. Like, don't get me wrong, but I mean, we've also talked about like, when does Salvi start falling off? He's not getting any younger. He's not a spring chicken. When does, his decline start coming? Has it already started happening?
He took another 0 for today. He's now hitting 193 with 2 home runs and 10 RBIs.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, Salvi's not just like up there flailing and striking out a bunch. I mean, he's striking out some, don't get me wrong, but he's hitting a lot of balls at people. He's also hitting a lot of balls that just aren't hit that hard.
Right. Yeah. Toronto only has 12. Guerrero just hit his first home run of the year, like this week.
The guys hitting all the home runs, not the guys you'd expect.
This is a great point, John. Renfro's been there in the past, but wouldn't count on him. Yeah, absolutely. And Forrest, completely agree. I mean, they could. I mean, I think Witt is welcoming the pressure because you don't sign just anybody to a 14-year deal and doesn't come with any pressure at all. Like, I think he realizes he's the cornerstone guy, but you also got to build around him. And, I don't think they have really. I mean, we thought that they made some nice moves this offseason and started that process, and I'm going to be the first to say, like, I thought that they were going to win the AL Central here, but from early looks, I'm not too sure. Again, it's early, but just from the eyeball test alone, I don't think this team's quite ready yet.
Yeah, see, I still think they win the Central because when you look at how badly they've performed, how close they've been in games, when these guys finally do click, I think this team's going to be fine. I mean, you got Renfroe hitting $130, Salvi hitting $193, Pasquatch hitting 206.
Yeah,
like these are guys that all hit better than that. And thankfully, you've not had anybody run away. They're 4 games back, as bad as they've been. They've only fallen 3 games back. Well, they've lost 8 of their last 10, so they haven't. They're not falling way out of contention, but they have to get the offense going. They have to get something going. And thankfully, they start a series against Colorado. Hopefully that's going to give them a few days to lock things in. But they just can't continue to lose these 3-2, 4-3 games. They've got to be able to start putting some runs on the board and win these things.
Yeah.
I'm not pushing the panic button on them yet, but they need these veterans to come around and start hitting. It can't just be Bobby.
Yeah. Agreed. All right. Cincinnati Reds today hung 24 runs on 25 hits against the Orioles today. 7 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 7th, 5 in the 8th, and 4 more in the 9th. I know it's 1 game, but is this something the Reds are capable of more often? Like, is this a glimpse of what this Reds team could be? Now, I'm not saying hang up 24 runs every night. That's not what I'm saying. But a more consistent offensive output out of the Reds. Is that something that they're capable of?
No. And I only say that because, and we've said this for the last probably year about them, this is what young teams do. This is a team that didn't score for 30-something innings, and then they hung 24 today. This is what young teams are going to do. They are going to have these crazy hot streaks and these crazy cold streaks, and they're going to be wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. And
this is the nature. This is what Francona is dealing with in Cincinnati. It's getting these young guys to come to the ballpark every day, ready to play the same way they did the day before. And granted, they faced Charlie Morton today. Charlie Morton's now 0-5 with a 10.89 ERA. It's probably time to tell Charlie Morton goodbye.
Yeah. John just backed it up. Yeah, literally the same. Yeah.
I mean, Charlie Morton, 0-5, 10.89 ERA on the season. It's time to say tell Charlie Morton thank you, goodbye. He's not a major league pitcher anymore. But this is, so to answer your question, I think this is absolutely the Reds are. They're gonna score 20 runs in a game and then go 30 something innings without scoring anything. This is the volatility of a young team. But this
Yeah.
is also the Achilles heel of the Orioles. We've said it all along. They just don't have the pitching. And they are, I mean, they lit Hunter Green up the night before that. Absolutely lit Hunter Green up. Nobody liked Hunter Green up. They did. And then they got absolutely embarrassed today.
Yeah.
And this is who the Orioles are going to be too. The Orioles are going to be the roller coaster ride of, are we going to be able to pitch today? We don't know. And that's going to be their season. And I still think the Orioles are a legitimate playoff, maybe even a World Series contender in the AL because they have such a strong lineup. But they've got to be able to pitch. And they've shown out of the gate here they can't. They have given up the most runs in all of baseball last I saw. They are tied now with the Rockies for most runs given up in all of baseball.
Yikes.
Their pitching, and granted, giving up 24 today certainly blows that math out of the water. But either way, their pitching is awful. And they need to figure that out fast.
I agree with you 1,000% on the Orioles. That's why I put them fourth in our preseason prediction. I just didn't know where the pitching was going to come from. And that's why I put them there. You didn't replace Corbin Burns, and you needed to. Now, to go back to the Reds, though, for me, I think this team is capable. Again, health is a big issue with them. They got to keep everybody on the field. Having Matt McLain back, Spencer Steer, I don't know if he's back. Is he back? I don't know. But either way, you got Ellie. You got some pieces on there that can hit. And if they can get some sense of consistency, which I think Francona brings to that organization.
He will, for sure.
Those kids will figure it out sooner rather than later.
McLean's back. He played today.
Yeah, no, I've Spencer Steer.
Oh, sorry, I said McLean. I was saying McLean has been.
Yeah, I knew McLean was back, but I'm not sure about Steer.
I've not seen Steer's name. I watched a couple games this week, and I did not see Steer.
Yeah, so I think he's still out. But either way, I think this team could play exciting baseball. Are they ready?
He was back today.
Oh, okay. Are they ready to compete for playoff spot? No, I don't think so. But I think if they can find some sense of consistency, they will be a team to watch in the next 2 to 3 years. So that's where I kind of stand on the Reds.
Yeah, and I think the problem with I thought this was a Ravens Bengals score.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. Well, and I saw a great post. It might have been MLB or MLB and Fox. It was talking about the Brewers' final score because the Brewers I think scored 14 today, and it was another couple touchdowns for the NL Central because the NL Central had quite the day. But I think the Reds team, I think they could be a playoff team. I think the problem with the Reds is they've got a very high ceiling and a very low floor. And it's hard to live with such a wide variety of outcomes and performances, but that is the nature of a young team. And that if Francona is going to be successful in Cincinnati, he's got to be able to tighten the range a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got to make them a little more predictable because it's going to be hard to go 37 innings with 0 runs and 9 with 24 and balance that over the course of a season.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. The Reds are quick. They could and that's a hitter friendly ballpark. I agree. Ellie's making that ballpark look small right now. And then agree with this point. They could be like the Angels team and just destroy somebody's season if they're not even in the NL wild card themselves. I mean, we had 16 teams last year fighting for the last 3 wild card spot or the last wild card spot last year. So
I would not count the Reds out for being in the fight all the way to the end.
Yeah.
They need to tighten up the range of their kind of outcomes and performance to be able to withstand that all season.
Yep, agree. All right, switching to the Red Sox real quick. Liam Hendriks officially back after 680 days on the IL.
Wild.
How inspiring is it for the Red Sox team to have a guy like this, A, on your team, and B, back on the active roster?
I mean, it's such a great story. I think it's incredibly inspiring for the Red Sox team. I think it's inspiring for the whole league because this is a guy who is very well respected and liked. And I think back to other guys like Trey Mancini. who went through something similar, and just the response he got across the league. And I think being around somebody like that, I think that's a good thing for the Red Sox team. Now, Hendricks pitched today, didn't pitch well, but it was the first time he pitched in almost 2 years. So didn't expect a lot going out. But I think being around a guy like that will have an absolute benefit for the Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've said this, the last couple of weeks, especially since we've talked about the guys that have been coming back from long-term injuries. His story is incredible, fighting the cancer and then coming back in 2 games, blowing out his elbow and being out for that. So it's good. And it comes at a good time because the Red Sox need bullpen help badly, as some of you guys heard when we were doing the Rounding Third Boston show. They need bullpen help tremendously, and he will hopefully be there. But
they need all the arms.
Yeah, and Jack's 1,000% agree with this point. Should definitely be inspiring to almost all baseball fans. Hugely respected by almost everybody. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's a great guy. They kind of focused on him a little bit in the Clubhouse series. They went through like all the IL guys. So you saw like Lucas Giolito coming back. You saw Hendricks coming back, all that stuff. So it was pretty cool. But I'm glad to see him. And couldn't have come at a better moment for the Red Sox team that needs bullpen help. So
bad.
Good for us.
Bad. I mean, not a great outing today, but the first time back in a couple of years. The stuff was good. He's got to ramp back up, but it was great to see him out there.
Yeah. All right, we're going to go over some surprising starts so far. This is a list that I saw on MLB.com, and here's just a list of guys that are having crazy starts that aren't necessarily, your top echelon guys. So Jonathan Aranda, who just hit a walk-off home run against the Yankees today, or yesterday, I can't remember now. I think it was yesterday. So he's been a huge surprise. And then here he is, Tyler Soderstrom. 9 homers, 19 RBIs, 325 average for that Oakland A's team. This guy's been a beast already.
And he's just so balanced. He's so quick. He's so fluid in the batter's box. I mean, we've watched him hit balls down and away into the gap and even out, balls up and in, off speed, fastball. He doesn't chase many bad pitches. And he's also got some speed. So when he gets on base, he causes problems for you. This kid is very much the whole package. And I'll be honest, he was not on my radar before the season. He was one of those guys that was like, oh, he's going to come up and maybe he'll be good for them. Who knows? And he's been spectacular.
Yeah.
And the book on him is, high contact, good power, kind of can do a little bit of everything. He's doing a lot of everything right now.
Yeah. And if Butler and Rooker and Soderstrom just keeps developing into superstars, this A's team is going to be ready for Vegas. If they can somehow lock up this guy long-term too, if he continues this and they lock him up, you have your core 3 going into Las Vegas in a few years ready to compete. 3 guys that will be in their prime, ready to go.
Yeah. And this A's team, again, the pitching is not great, as we said, and they've given up a lot of runs in the bottom 5, but they score a lot of runs. They've scored the 4th most in the American League. They're minus 18, which isn't a good ratio. But they score a lot of runs and they do it a lot of ways. And that lineup has become really deep, really dynamic. You mentioned Butler, Rooker, Soderstrom. You've also got Jacob Wilson. You got Langoliers. That lineup is just so long, and it's good. Like they're a really fun team to watch. They hit, they run, they do a little bit of everything. And again, like the Angels, are they going to make a run for the playoffs? Nope. But they're going to ruin some seasons along the way, and continue to get better.
Jacob Wilson is a right-handed Luis Arraez. The dude doesn't strike out.
Nope.
He doesn't.
He doesn't. Wears pitchers out.
Yeah.
Honestly, the A's that's a team we've been high on for the last probably 18 months. Like that is a team that is going the right direction.
Yep. Yeah. And Severino's looked pretty decent in his first few starts.
Yeah, and for the
A's, it's everybody else.
Yeah, for the A's, hasn't also been the starting pitching that's been really bad. The bullpen's been pretty awful. They've had some
Yeah.
bad starts in there, but the starting pitching's been okay. But the bullpen's been wretched and wildly inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't even get to Mason Miller.
No, and when they're not good, they're really not good. Like they lose, they'll give up 8, 9, 10 runs easy.
Yeah.
They'll also give up 1 or 2 and shut you down.
Yeah. Mike Yastrzemski, 281 average. So pretty good start, especially in that Giants lineup. They need him to kind of turn around and be the Mike Yastrzemski that they've thought he was going to be coming up. So,
yeah, and I mean the stat, you kind of look at it and go, really, that's like a surprising start. But this is a kid that's been expected to be so good, and he's not hit better than 230. There's been so much attention on him. The last name obviously carries a lot of weight. But here's a guy who's 34. He's in his 7th year. He's just never quite delivered what you hoped. And you're now finally seeing what you thought you would get out of him. And I think for the another great thing for the Giants. You've had Young Ho Lee come back from injury, and he's been great. Yastrzemski's off to a good start, finally delivering like you hoped. All of a sudden, that lineup looks a lot scarier than it did 2 months ago.
Helio Ramos, all those guys. So I just looked this up. I didn't hear about this, but he collided with Mauricio Dubon.
Yeah, Mauricio Dubon was covering first, ran across the base. Arraez went right into him down to the ground. He gave a thumbs up as he was getting carted out of there. He is in stable condition. He's responsive, able to move. He got shaken up real good.
Dang. I did not see that. Crazy.
Yeah, it was bad. The game was delayed for like almost 15 minutes.
Oh, wow.
They took him off the field through the gate in the right field corner. He gave a thumbs up and waved. But he hit Dubon full speed and just went down to the ground.
Yeah.
It was pretty gnarly.
I'll have to check it out. All right. Some other names. Ben Rice, 297 average, 5 home runs early start for the Yankees. I mean, we've kind of known that he was gonna be this type of player. We saw flashes of it last year where he came up and had a 3-homer game. Like we knew Ben Rice was gonna be there. But Spencer Torkelson, finally, we've been
talking him for years.
We had him high on the Rookie of the Year pick a couple of years ago. We're like, when is this kid going to figure it out? It looks like he's finally starting to settle in and make an impact here. So 6 home runs already, 18 RBIs, 288 average, and a big cog in that Tigers offense. So great start for Torkelson. Love that.
Well, and I think the thing too with Torkelson is that he has settled in at the same time as all the other guys too. So it's almost like that whole lineup has come together and really kind of gelled, and it's been a big part of Torkelson's confidence too, is he's got guys ahead of him and behind him that can hit, they can cover him. So he doesn't have to try to do it all.
Right.
And he admitted when he first came up, he was trying to hit a 6-run home run every swing because he was afraid that if he didn't, they wouldn't win. Now he can just go up there and hit. And he's using the opposite field. He's working counts. It's been really fun to watch him hit. And it's really been fun to watch that whole Tigers lineup the last year and a half.
Really?
Even starting with like September call-ups a couple of years ago, really begin to form, and that team is good.
Yep, great. Brendan Donovan off to a great start, I would say, at 380.
He's a machine.
That's all right. 380 is an okay average last time I checked. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if you're into big numbers, that one works.
Yeah, that's all right.
But he's leading Major League Baseball in hits. He was leading in a couple of other of the advanced metric rates. But he's now at 361. He had a offer, but he's got 30 hits already on the season. It's April 20th.
Yeah.
So, and he hit a big home run to tie the game the other night for them in a back and forth. I think I sent you a message that the ending to that Cardinals game was insane the other night. They gave the lead, then they got it, then they tied it up. He had a big home run for them. He's been one of the few bright spots for the Cardinals so far this year.
Yeah. And then my boy, Jerry Perdomo. Now, For me, this one's not surprising. As somebody that watches the Diamondbacks night in and night out,
Yeah.
this is who Geraldo Perdomo is. He made the All-Star team a couple of years ago because of what he does. He sits in that 9-hole usually for the Diamondbacks, turns that lineup over for Carroll, Marte, and at the time Christian Walker, but obviously he's out. Now it's Naylor, Pavin Smith, all them up there. Now he's hitting in the 2-hole behind Carroll. So the reason the RBIs are so high is because Corbin Carroll has the second most extra base hits in the MLB right now. Corbin Carroll's been on an absolute tear. So this isn't really shocking to me or a surprising start, quote unquote, but it's what the Diamondbacks needed in the absence of Ketel Marte for sure right now.
Well, I think you look at Corbin Carroll's just like you said, he's tearing the cover off of everything right now. You can't get that kid out.
No.
And then you back him up with Perdomo, and then you feed into the middle of that order. As we said, like losing Ketel Marte, that hurts. But if this lineup can fill that gap a little bit while he comes back, they'll be okay. And they've just filled right in and keeping the line moving.
Yeah.
And the absence of Ketel Marte has not hurt that much yet. Now, I will say that the Diamondbacks are probably underperforming where we thought they'd be because they've got a lot of things going on right now.
Zach Gallen has not looked like Zach Gallen. He's had like one good start and the rest are kind of meh.
Yeah, Corbin Burns has been a little iffy. Gallen hasn't been great. I do think the Diamondbacks have underperformed overall, but that has nothing to do with Ketel Marte being out. They just haven't hit their stride yet. But at the same time, they went out and put up friggin' 10 runs in an inning. That's what this team does that. We talked about it last year. They'll drive you crazy because they'll lose a game, 8-7, and they scored all 7 runs in the 4th inning and did nothing the whole rest of the game.
Yep.
They still have some of that in their makeup.
1,000%. Yeah, they did it. I think twice last week. They had like 2 5+ run innings and then nothing else the rest of the game. But
they're very streaky. But that is a team that nobody wants to face.
No, absolutely not. All right, we are going to start a kind of ongoing segment. This one sparked an idea in my head, and I was like, I gotta put this on because this one just blew my mind. So we're gonna do a rounding third comment of the week. And it's not necessarily a good comment or a bad comment. It's just one that I think is funny. So on our trivia question about the oldest Hall of Famer to start an opening day at age 46, which was Phil Niekro, the comment was, don't even say what sport it was, such idiots. And I just simply respond back, the baseball background and the name rounding third baseball doesn't give it away. I mean, like, I know you guys love our trivia questions and stuff like that, but there's some comments we get from week to week where I have to like screenshot them and send them to Harrison because they are absolutely mind-blowingly hilarious. And this was one of them.
Yeah, I think that, for all of you that think being a content creator or a podcaster is so glamorous, this is the stuff that we see every day. We also have people jump into the chat and you don't always see it either and make insane comments and, asking us to bow to Russia and things like that. But either way, this is the kind of funny stuff we deal with. And what's cool and what makes us different, I think, is that we actually go in and answer all these comments. Like when you get a response back, it's us. And we respond to probably 90% or more of the comments. Sometimes we just can't get to them all. So, last month we had 1.6 million views across our social and thousands of comments. And we responded absolutely every single one that we can. And we get some doozies.
It's so funny, dude.
And sometimes they're right. Sometimes they're making fun of us because we said something stupid. We got a question wrong. Like, that's great. You can make fun of us. But then there's other ones where you read it and you're like, wow. Like we say it all the time. It must suck to live a life where like this is the most exciting thing you can do is come onto somebody's Facebook page and like rail on what they do. But some of these are just so borderline ridiculous that we thought it'd be fun for the hell of it just to start to share some of them. Because I don't know if this guy was serious, if he was trolling, but if you can't figure out what sport this is, that is a you problem. That is not an us problem.
Yeah, I mean, it says in big letters across the bottom, rounding third baseball, and there's a baseball background, but I didn't say what sport it is. So my bad, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we need to start prefacing every question with, he was the oldest baseball Hall of Famer, starting opening day game for a baseball team at age 46.
Who also threw a baseball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there are times where I can't. And there's also been times where people make insane comments to make fun of us. We responded to them and they become friends and followers.
Yeah.
And they hang out in the community and chill with us. But we're about to reach, I think, 16 or 17,000 total followers across all the social. And we
Yeah.
still get stuff like, we get more and more of this stuff as we get bigger.
Oh my God. It's funny. But yeah. So I just thought I'd throw that one in there because so you'll see it from time to time come up.
Yep.
And I honestly, what's scary, Captain, is I think he was paying attention and still just couldn't. I don't know. I got nothing for it.
I don't pretend to understand some of the people that we communicate with on social media. I was in a group on a Facebook group the other day, and we were talking about it was baseball talk, talking about some of the early start to the season things. And then somebody randomly posted some sort of crazy like Trump meme in the middle of it all, and we're like, what? Like, first of all, where did you come from? And second of all, what does it have to do with anything related to our conversation?
Yeah.
It's just bizarre.
Yeah. If we got $1 for every time we've got your mom as an answer for
I love that
the trivia question, it's crazy.
Most home runs in a season left-handed, your mom. I don't think so.
Yeah. And then I usually come back with something ridiculous, like as many home runs as my mom hit around the neighborhood. It wasn't her, unfortunately. Yeah. Like I just come back with some smart ass comment because I don't think they realize that we read all of these comments. Yeah. It's me and Harrison. That's it. We don't have people working for us. I'm in my house. Harrison's in his house. That's it. We're not in some studio doing this. So it's just funny. And like Harrison said, when they realize that it's like actually people on the other side, they're just like, oh, dang. All right. Like, my bad. Sorry. Most of the time we get an apology, which is even crazier.
Yeah. We had a video, a year ago, the home runs.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the home run leaders in the 30s. And I said Mickey Mantle, and I meant to say Lou Gehrig. I said the wrong name. And I got, there was what? I mean, there must have been 300 plus comments on that video. It reached like 500,000 people, and people just ripping me because I screwed up. I said the wrong name. It was a complete brain fart. And I would say like 80% of the people that ripped me after I commented back, like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, totally screwed that up. I meant to say so-and-so. Like, we got so many followers out of that who are sometimes in the chat now, and I'm not going to name names, who like just appreciated the fact that we actually responded and didn't think we would.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these comments were hilarious.
Oh yeah.
People just torched me, and it was great.
Yeah. Yeah, because honestly, it was that one and our Ernie Banks question that came out pretty much around the same time, and that's where we really started to take off. So it was like it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. So I just wanted to share some of it with you for sure. So
yeah, if you ever want to have your own podcast or do a bunch of content creation, you need to be able to just laugh at stuff like this because we get it all the time. And if I took the comments personally, like some people do, I wouldn't be able to do this.
To get rid of your mom joke. Honestly, buddy, it's not. It's grown men sending me that, to be
for sure.
honest.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's not kids.
No,
I'm telling you right now.
It's a bunch of like 50 and 60-year-old guys think they're hilarious. They shouldn't say Clint Frazier.
He came up when we tried to guess the 2010s.
Oh man.
Yeah, funny.
It's funny, but this is just to share with you all a little taste of the stuff that we get. The little behind the scenes.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And we don't hide them, we don't delete them, we don't block people.
No.
It's just like whatever. Like if it made your day to come in and make that comment, great. Feel free to, and honestly, like every comment helps. So
exactly.
Feel free to leave them.
Yep. All right, Harrison. Put in the correct order trivia. So I'm going to give you 5. I'm going to give you a category. I'm going to give you 5 names, and you have to put them in order. Okay. So the first one, and some of these are tough. Just going to let you know. Okay. So here we go. List these Red Sox in order from least career home runs for the Red Sox to the most career home runs for the Red Sox. So it doesn't mean like all their teams combined, like just the Red Sox. So from least to most: Bobby Doerr, Trot Nixon, Dustin Pedroia, Rico Petrocelli, Jimmy Fox.
Oh, this is hard because some of these guys are like all around the same numbers, but I got to remember how long they were with the Red Sox.
Uh-huh.
So I got to go. So I'm going from least to most. So if I had to go least, I'm going to have to start with Trot.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go Rico.
Nope, not number 2.
Would I go Dusty? Would I go Petey
It
number
is
2?
it is Petey. Yep.
Okay, then is it Rico?
Then it's Rico.
And then it's oh boy. Then is it Door then Fox, or is it Door then Fox?
It's Fox then Door.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're different by one.
Yeah. 133 for Trot Nixon, 140 for Pedroia, 210 for Petroselli, 222 for Jimmy Fox, and 223 for Bobby Doerr.
I never gave Rico enough respect for the power he did have.
Yeah.
Man,
all right.
Different by one.
This next one, I think you'll enjoy this one. This one is awesome. At least I think it's awesome. So here we go. List these players from most career home runs to least. Jeff Fry,
oh my goodness.
Otis Nixon, Ray Sanchez, Ray Ordonez, and Mark Lemke.
They probably didn't hit 100 combined. Did they?
Not even.
Jeez. Oh boy. Okay. So
most to least.
All right. So I know who's going to go at the bottom of the list. All right. So I'm going to go top of the list is gotta be Lemke, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. And then is it Sanchez or Ordonez next? Oh no. Jeff Fry had a few. Because I know Otis is last. I'm not even sure if he had more than 10 home runs. All right, I'm going Lemke.
It's not Ordonez. Lemke's first.
I'm going Lemke. I'm going Fry.
It is Fry second.
I'm going to go Sanchez, Ordonez, Nixon.
Got it. Look at these totals. Look at these totals. 32 for Lemke, so doubled the second place guy. So Lemke 32, Jeff Fry 16, Ray Sanchez 15, Ray Ordonez 12, Otis Nixon 11 career homers.
That's 48, 60, 70. It was 84 total home runs between the 5 of them.
Yeah. That's great.
So I was right. They didn't combine to hit 100.
Nope, not even
Lemke with 32, I feel like that's actually more than I would have thought.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. That was a pretty good one. Yeah, Nixon was good for 2 or 3 a year, maybe. I think he had a couple that it was just one in there. But
yeah, I mean, he hit so few home runs because he didn't need to. He slap a ball in the gap if you're standing at third base.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, so let's see. Otis Nixon's career high in home runs. He had 1 year where he hit 3. His home run totals were 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 0. A lot of zeros.
That's awesome. That's great. All right. Next one. Yeah, I mean, the dude was faster than it was ridiculous. Even watching him on the Braves, I mean, he was crazy. But
yeah,
crazy.
I mean, 620 career steals. That's not bad.
Yeah. All right, just to give you guys a taste of kind of the comments we get in the comments during the show. Here's one. Right.
Here's from the Terrifier. We don't need more tariffs. We're good. Baseball actually isn't really going to be affected by tariffs, so that's good. Except for maybe the cost of wood and the bats, but the teams pay for those, so whatever.
Well, just buy them from Jesse LaCase at LaCase Bats. It's strictly Maine wood.
Maine hardwood.
That's right. All right. I think you'll like this next one. List these players from most career steals to least. Albert Pujols, Frank Thomas, Cecil Fielder, Adam Dunn, Yogi Berra.
So most career steals. Oh, I mean, I know Cecil stole like none. I mean, that would have been accidental for that guy to steal a base. All right, so most. I mean, the most athletic guy in this group's probably Pujols.
It is Pujols, number 1.
Is Frank second?
No.
Is Dunn second?
Dunn is second.
Because Dunn actually, he had a few steals. So we're going to go Albert. We're going to go Dunn. Ooh, Yogi, Frank, Cecil.
Nope. Switch Yogi and
Oh,
Frank.
Frank, Yogi, and Cecil.
Yep. Good.
2.
Yeah. Yep. Albert Pujols 117, Adam Dunn 63, Frank Thomas 32, Yogi Berra 30, Cecil Fielder 2.
Oh man, does defensive indifference count?
Unfortunately,
it does not
no.
count as a steal, but
Yep. So this next list is going to be my personal favorite, and you'll see why. Oh, what? List these players from most career games played to the least. Nick Swisher, Nick Markakis, Nick Punto, Nick Johnson, Nick Castellanos.
wow. Okay. I thought Edgar was slow. John, you're not lying.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to go Nick Markakis the most. He was around forever.
Yes, it is Markakis.
I'm going to go Markakis. I'm going to go Swish.
No.
Punto?
No.
Really?
Really?
Is it Castellanos next?
It is Castellanos next.
I thought he'd be third. I thought one of those guys would play more games than him. Okay, so Markakis, Castellanos. Is it Swish then?
Yep, and then Swisher.
Okay, and then it's got to be, is it Punto then Johnson?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Markakis, 2,154 games, 15 years. Castellanos, 1,560, 13 years, because he had all those years in Detroit, too.
Yeah, he just beat out Swisher. Okay.
Yeah, Swisher was 1,527 for 12 years. Nick Punto, 1,163, 14 years. And then Nick Johnson, 832, 10 years.
Great answer, Kappa. Nick, and Nick. Yep. You got it.
You got the order wrong.
Nailed it.
Awesome. All right. Next list. List the pitchers from most Gold Gloves to least.
Oof.
Bobby Shantz, Bob Gibson, Greg Maddux, Jim Kaat, Mark Langston / Mike Mussina, because they're tied.
Okay, so Maddux is obviously first.
Yep.
Boy, this is a tough one. Maddux first. Mussina second?
No.
Is it Gibson second?
No.
Really? Okay. Wow, then apparently Cott and Shantz have more than I ever thought. All right. Go Cott second?
Yep.
Because he was good defense. I just didn't think he had that many. Maddux, Cott. Is Mussina third now?
No, sir.
Really? Okay. This is not as easy as I thought it would be. So it's got to be Gibson third.
It is Gibson.
I'm gonna go Shantz and then Mussina.
Yes, sir. Greg Maddux with 18. Jim Kaat
Wow.
with 16. He had 8.
16.
He had 8 in each league. Bob Gibson with 9. Shantz with 8. Langston and Mussina both with 7.
I guess I just don't remember Cott having 16.
Yep.
Makes sense, but I do not remember him having 16.
Yep.
And I thought Mussina had more than 7. I had like 9 or 10 in mind.
Yeah.
All right.
All
That's
right.
a tough one.
Yep. Okay, here we go. List the pitchers from most career Ks to least amount of Ks.
Ooh.
Mickey Lolich, Kurt Schilling, Felix Hernandez, Chuck Finley, Kevin Brown.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, the only guy in this group that's got 3,000 Ks, I think, is Schill.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go Schilling.
Yep, number 1.
Brown and Finley have a bunch because they're around a long time. Lolich has a lot. He's around. Go Lolich too.
Yep. Correct.
And then Felix didn't have longevity, but he had a ton of Ks. So Schilling, Lolich. Is it Finley, Felix, Brown? Or is it Felix,
Brown.
Finley?
It's Finley, Felix, Brown.
Okay, so I was right. All right, Finley, Felix, Brown.
Yep. Kurt Schilling, 3,116. You hit that right on the head. Lolich, 2,832. Chuck Finley, 2,610. Hernandez 25-24, and Kevin Brown with 23-97.
That's impressive because Felix pitched way less than Finley and Brown.
Yeah.
he's got more strikeouts than Brown.
Yeah. All right. This is the last put them in order question for tonight.
Okay.
List these pitchers from most career home runs hit to least home runs hit. Cy Young, Mike Hampton, Warren Spahn, Carlos Zambrano, Don Drysdale.
Oh, it's hard because these guys back in the day hit a lot. So, all right. I know Hampton and Zambrano had a bunch modern day, but my guess is it's probably nothing close to what the guys had before. So I'm going to go. It's either going to be Spahn or Cy first. I'll go Spahn.
That is Spahn number 1.
Is Cy number 2?
No.
Drysdale 2.
Drysdale's 2.
Cy 3?
No.
Really? Zambrano 3?
Zambrano's 3.
Okay. I mean, Mike Hampton couldn't. Cy Young 4th?
Cy Young 4th.
Okay, then Hampton.
Yep. I like the Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine picture.
The chicks dig the long ball commercial?
Yep. Yeah. Warren Spahn, 35. Don Drysdale, 29. Carlos Zambrano, 24. Cy Young, 18. Mike Hampton, 16.
Zambrano had 24. That's such an impressive number.
Yep. That dude could rake.
I mean, I remember Zambrano and Mike Hampton, they would get called in to pinch hit for guys in the 8th and 9th inning because they were better hitters than some of the position players.
Yeah. Yeah. Warren Spahn has the same amount of base hits as he does pitching wins, too. I think that's so cool.
That's wild.
Yeah. Yeah, John, Big Z. We love Carlos Zambrano on this show. We try to bring him up as much as we can. But
very underappreciated player.
Yep. So
that was a good one.
Yeah, love that one. All right, just straight up MLB trivia.
All right,
here we go.
Let's do it.
Courtesy of Baseball History Dork. Who is the only player to hit a grand slam on opening day twice in his career?
Ooh, okay. Are these Brewers colors?
They are Brewers colors.
That's what I thought. So, Yelich?
No, you got to go back.
Oh, we're going like way. Okay, I should have figured if it's Forrest, that's going way back.
74 to 85 was his career.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I don't know if you would necessarily pull this name.
Oh,
he's got 1 Gold Glove to his name.
So this is before Yount and Molitor.
Yep.
Boy, a relevant Brewer back in the 70s. There's not one coming to mind.
There's a pitcher for the Marlins that has the same first name as him, whose last name is Sanchez. So blank Sanchez.
Sixto?
It is Sixto. But I don't know if you'd get his last name.
So I have no idea who this is.
This is Sixto Lezcano. Gorman Thomas, good guess. No.
Oh, yeah, Gorman Thomas, it is a good guess.
Yep.
Man, Forrest, you.
That was a crazy one.
That's a tough one.
All right. Here's the next one. What happened on the very first pitch of the 2015 World Series?
Was there a home run on the first pitch? Was this Alex Gordon?
It wasn't Alex Gordon. It was a home run, but there was something specific about this home run. And it wasn't Alex Gordon.
Oh, okay. So it's a home. There's only you can't be like a grand slam or a multi-run because it's the first pitch. Is it Is it like a major league debut at bat? Is it is it like a weird home run? Is it an inside the park home run?
It's an inside the park home run. Who hit it?
Oh my goodness, you'd ask me that.
Shortstop. Everyone thought he was going to be like one of the shortstops of the future and just kind of fizzled out real quick.
Oh, Escobar.
Yeah, I'll take it. Alcides Escobar, inside the park home run.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, I forgot about that.
John got it inside the park. Yep. First pitch. All right. Next one. Which former Yankees outfielder was arrested after a game and charged with cruelty to animals after an errant throw in between innings struck and killed a seagull?
Wow. Okay. This has got to be going back a ways. This has got to be like 70s, 80s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who? I mean, it's like a Reggie. Is this like a
You're on the right track. It is a Hall of Famer.
from this? Okay.
We talk about him actually quite a bit as being a crazy athlete.
Winfield.
Yes, it's Dave Winfield. Yeah,
That's insane.
so he was warming up in the outfield. Some of the fans claimed that he did it on purpose, but he said it was just an errant throw. It killed a seagull, and he got charged. He was in Toronto when it happened. So,
oh
pretty
jeez.
crazy. All right.
So he and Randy Johnson are known for hitting birds.
Yeah, for sure. Zach Gallen killed one last year too, warming up in the outfield.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yep. All right. Next one. Who was the last player to end a game on an unassisted triple play, achieving this for the Phillies on August 23rd, 2009?
Wow. Just like Jimmy Rollins, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard go around the infield.
I thought you would get this one because I think you've said his name before.
I'm trying to remember the unassisted play for the Phillies. It wasn't a pitcher, right?
Nope. He was a shortstop, outfielder, second baseman. Played in the 2008 World Series with the Phillies.
Oh, utility guy. It's not a Vizcaino. It's I remember a little spunky guy.
Mm-hmm. Also played for the Astros at the beginning of his career, 2003 to 2007.
Yep, it's starts with a B.
Uh-huh. It does.
I keep saying like a Rutledge, but it starts with a B. It's like a Eric Bruntlett.
It is Eric Bruntlett. Good.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
we have mentioned him on the show before.
Yep, Eric Bruntlett for the Phillies. Yep, nice. All right, next one. On August 27th, 1977, Toby Harrah and teammate Bump Wills became the only players in MLB history to ever do what?
Bump Wills. Okay. Only teammates. Only players. Okay, to do what? So what obscure, bizarre thing they could have done? Did they both turn a triple play? Did they?
And they were back to back in the lineup, so I'll give you that.
Okay, back to back. So back to back home runs would not be anything special. You can't hit back to back grand slams because
no, hit grand slams in the same. That's a good guess. It's not that though.
Is this inside the Parkers?
Yes, back to back inside the park home runs.
Nope, there it is. John.
Yeah, John got it. Yeah, nice.
Nice job, John.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
John agrees. Pump Wills, LOL.
Yeah, typical old school baseball name.
Oh my goodness, some of the craziest names.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next one. Who was the first player in any sport to be featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated magazine back on August 16th, 1954?
Oh no, we didn't have this on the show before. We had the bizarre story that was written. I was like, oh, we've had this before, but no.
Yeah, that was Sid Finch.
Yep. First player in sport back in 54. The Yankee? No, can't. It's red. So too late for Musial. Be the Cardinals.
This guy was on a trivia question we had. He played for the same franchise in 3 different cities.
Oh.
Not Mantle. That's a good guess. It's
Yeah,
not
Mantle
Mickey
was one of the
Mantle.
ones I went to. That's why when I saw the color, I'm like, not a Yankee. Oh, Eddie Matthews.
It is Eddie Matthews.
Yep. There were
Sure.
3 different cities.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember, guys, like my background colors, I try to give a clue there. I mean, I know every team is blue and red, so it's not much of a clue, but you know,
it helps a little bit though, because it steered me away
try.
from the Yankees, because I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
I was going right down the path of Mantle, Yogi, somebody like that.
Yep. All right. And the last standard trivia question I got. Who was the only player to achieve a 50 home run season in the 70s?
Ooh. In the 70s. That's say Kingman was the 80s. 70s.
70s are my weak spot for trivia.
Like the 70s are challenging because it's such a weird era of baseball.
He was a Red.
I was gonna say, was this from one of the Reds? So who's the?
Not Killebrew.
Killebrew a good guess. So who are the big boppers for the Reds? You had various guys come through there. Cepeda, you had.
John got it, crushed it.
George Foster. George Foster, nice.
Yeah, 52 and 72. Good.
Wow.
Nice job, John.
Jeez.
All right, Harrison.
Here we go.
I've got a few. Here we go. First one. Who is this MLB player?
Oh, is this Christian Campbell?
This is Christian Campbell. Yes. Good.
Nice.
Christian Campbell. Good.
Nice.
Who is this player?
Oh, was this Luis Angel Acuna?
Yes, nice job, Luis Angel Acuna. Good.
He can fly.
Yeah.
Although he made a bad base running error the other night for the Mets, but
happens.
Yep. Young guy. Trying to do too much.
This next one, this one's such a dad joke, it's bad.
Oh, I love it.
Who is this MLB player?
What? Oh, it's Ben Rice.
It's Ben Rice.
The bad part is I got that way too quick, which means I get it.
Yeah.
I get the dad joke.
Ben Rice. Yes.
Oh man. I was like, what the hell? I think that might be our first picture puzzle where it was only a single picture.
It was just a single picture, yeah. Yeah, I know. These ones we get kind of quick. It's hard for you guys to keep up with it, but I know it's good. You guys got them.
Keep throwing them in the chat. We love seeing you guys come back with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Another one. Got Ben Rice. Nice.
Yep. Love it. All right. Who is this MLB player?
I know the answer. I'm going to hang for a second to see if chat gets it. I'll give chat a minute.
All right. Oh yeah, for sure. Yep, I'll take the spell check.
Yep, done.
Yep, Colton Cowser. Good.
How many more of these we got, Nick?
We got 3.
All right. I'm not going to give any answers for the rest of these. I'll put them in the private chat between you and I. We're going to let chat answer these.
All right, sounds good. All right. Who is this MLB player?
Autocorrect got me.
John.
We know. Yeah. It's fine.
Colton Cowser, was the answer. Nice job, guys. You got that one. Who is this MLB player?
Oh. I was way off there for a minute. I was going way down a different path.
Yep.
Because I was like, is that John Travolta? Like, who is that? Does that matter? It doesn't.
Too much
Too
pressure.
much pressure. Hey, we got
Oh,
it in the chat.
John
Nice
got
job.
it. Nice. Yes. Drake Baldwin.
Too
Bonus
much
points.
pressure.
Too much pressure. Love that.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, man. All right. Next one. Oh, sorry. Yep. Drake Baldwin. That's who it was.
Yep.
Nice
Got
job.
it.
All right. Next one. Who is this MLB player? You got this one, Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good one.
You've been hanging around me too much. You get these
I know.
way too quick.
I know. Some of them jump right out. Some of them is like, oh my goodness, I have no idea where he's going. Like Drake Baldwin, that took me a while to get around to because I was going down a way different path. The wrong one.
What were you thinking on that last one?
I was stuck on is that John Travolta? Like, who's the actor? Does it matter? Is it? I was stuck on that, and I'm like, oh, this is so dumb. Like, just don't worry about the person. What are they?
Right.
What's the image showing?
Yeah. Good one.
But yeah, this is fun. We'll let chat jump in. Hey, John's got it.
John
Nice job,
got
John.
it. Yeah. Jose Barrios. Good.
Nice. Who tried to fight Cal Raleigh the other night, and I would have loved to have seen that go down.
Big dumper would have killed him.
Well, did you see it? So that when Raleigh
I
was
didn't
running
see
off
it.
Yeah, so Raleigh was running off the field and he crossed paths with Barrios, who stopped him, and they were kind of chatting for a minute. Then it got heated, and apparently Barrios was claiming that he was trying to tip pitches to the batters, which Cal Raleigh was saying I wouldn't do that. And Cal Raleigh actually came out after the game and defended him, saying I want my pitchers to do that too if they feel like people are tipping pitches. I've got no beef with Barrios.
Yeah.
He would have gotten
He would've
stopped,
gotten
John.
stopped.
You're not kidding.
Yep. And the other John, the Machina.
Vladdy Jr. got in the middle of that real quick to pull Barrios away and steer Raleigh back to the dugout, knowing where that was going to go.
Yep. All right. And the last one I got. Who is this MLB player?
I could not get the first name. I was like, why am I blanking on this?
Yep. Got it. Nice. He is an Oriole now, but wasn't last year.
Oh, right.
That might be a hint.
Oh, John, that was fast.
Nice. Crushed it.
Jeez.
Nice job.
Dylan
guys.
Carlson, nice job.
Nice work. Dang. All right. Well, you
It was
made
fun to let chat jump into these, Nick.
Yeah,
we should do that more often.
Yeah, that was fun. That was cool.
Takes all the pressure off. Takes the pressure off me to get the right answers. I can just pass the buck.
Right? Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh man.
That's all I had for tonight. Do you have anything else to add news-wise? I think we covered a lot, but anything else?
A couple of things. So first one is, so as a fact, or I guess this came out yesterday, late yesterday. But Chandler Simpson is being called up by the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, for people that are like, well, why does that matter? Chandler Simpson last year stole 104 bases in 110 minor league games. They're calling him like Tampa. He's like the new Ricky Henderson. They're calling him. He is so unbelievably fast. If you just watch this kid run, he gets down the first baseline so fast. He steals bases. In some cases, he stole bases standing up in the minors. I mean, he is a freak speed. He played, I don't think he played today. I didn't look, but they showed a clip of him in minor leagues the other night, and he literally slapped a ball to shortstop and was at first base before the guy can make a throw. He's stupid fast. So he's going to be somebody to keep an eye on because he will absolutely light the base paths up.
Dang.
Actually, I'll put a link in the chat. There's actually a clip of him beating a ground ball out in this article, and it's unreal how fast he gets down the line. Just not right.
Yeah, I think I saw him in spring training, and he did that like in spring training. It was just like a routine ground ball to third, and he like barely was out by like a quarter of a step. Like,
yep.
And it was like just a routine grounder to third.
Yeah, there are many occasions where he'll hit a routine ground ball to a shortstop that's playing deeper, and they pick their head up, and he's 2 steps off of first base already. He is unreal fast.
Yeah.
And then the
Yeah.
other interesting tidbit from today, the Brewers broke their franchise record by stealing 9 bases today.
I saw that.
So they stole 9 bases against the A's in their 14-1 victory. That's a 33-year-old record, and they all came in the first 4 innings. So people that are like, why would you keep stealing when you're beating them? They stole 9 bases before the end of the 4th inning. Unreal.
Yeah. I heard he can flip the light switch and be in bed before the lights are out. That's how fast he is.
Was that Cool Papa Bell? Who was supposed to be that fast?
Yeah.
Or is it Satchel that could be in bed before the lights went off? But yeah. So yeah, 9 stolen bases today for the Brewers in 4 innings. Then they stopped stealing, obviously, because they're up to it. They had a big lead.
Yeah.
Bryce Strang stole 3 of his own.
Just that was wild. I needed that in some fantasy to end my week here.
Yeah, I bet that doesn't hurt.
So I've heard of this kid's name, but I haven't, honestly, I haven't followed a lot of Minnesota Twins baseball. I'm going to be completely honest there. But I mean, he's got 2 games up there already. He's got 3 hits, 2 doubles. I mean,
he's doubled the offensive output of that entire offense by being there.
Yeah.
I mean, he's another one of those guys, 2nd round pick in 2023 from Arizona State. That draft class, I mean, they just keep rolling guys up from that draft class. That 2023 group, they all made it to the big leagues so fast. And this kid, I don't know a lot about him. I've seen some clips, but I mean, he can hit. Absolutely can hit. Plays all over the infield, can play pretty much anywhere in the infield. Good defender, but he can absolutely rake.
Yeah. Did that happen today, John? Because I'll go back and watch, because I'll definitely want to see him hit. So I'll go back and look at that tonight for sure.
Yeah, I believe that was today. I think he played both yesterday and today.
Okay. So I'll have to go back and look at him.
Yeah, I saw a clip of him from yesterday. I mean, he is another one of those guys, like a Dylan Cruz type approach, like just a very professional approach at the plate.
He went deep twice today, Dylan Cruz.
I know, finally sitting on my fantasy bench because he hasn't hit anything all season. But I mean, he's going to come along. But you look at guys, you see those players: Roman Anthony, Christian Campbell, Dylan Cruz. Those guys that are like just can't miss hitters. Guys are just going to come up and be able to rake. That this kid falls in that group.
Yeah. See you, John. Thanks for stopping by as usual, buddy. And I'm sorry, but your Mariners are losing this week because they're playing our Sox. So
let's hope.
But anyways. Yeah. Yeah, it was nice to see Dylan Cruz kind of get a good game under his belt. He's kind of needed it.
Yeah, he had a really rough start to the season offensively. He wasn't hitting anything for the first couple weeks.
All right, the game was yesterday.
Okay,
so yesterday. I'll go back and look at it then.
So that might have been the clip that I saw. I didn't even notice the picture. I was just watching him hit, but he can hit. And he's not a super big kid, 6 feet, 190.
Oh, speaking of not big kids that also made their debuts this weekend is Caleb Durbin.
Oh, right. That's right.
He came up for the Brewers. He got his first couple hits.
That's right.
He is like Altuve stature. He's tiny.
5'7", 183.
But he's wide. Like he's built, but he's just not tall. But I mean, he seems to fit into that Brewers team.
Yeah,
like how he plays. He hustles hard.
Yeah, he's that guy that in the trade, the book on him was don't really know if he's going to pan out. He's built like a Pedroia or an Altuve. Probably built more like Pedroia because he's got a little thickness to him. But he projected to be like a Pedroia type player, small guy with a big bat.
We're going to have to start calling you guys by your last names. Legit. Like, this is ridiculous. We have like a John A., John Carter, John Temple, John Dowd. Like, I don't know how this happened, but like, I guess we just got 9,000 followers all named John. They're all spelled different, but
we've had 8 straight comments in chat from a John. Just in case you were wondering, that's Facebook, YouTube. They come from all over the place.
That's hilarious, man. For real, though.
Yeah. What is it with? Apparently, we find Johns in bulk.
All right, John D. So random, but is this Roman Anthony guy supposed to be the real deal? We went on our Rounding Third Boston podcast, we talked about Roman Anthony at a pretty significant length. He is the real deal. His barrel rate is through the roof. Granted, it's AAA. He's good. He looks like a major league ball player. Like, he doesn't look like a minor leaguer. He looks like he's ready to go. The thing is there's an absolute log jam on the Red Sox roster right now, and he's not coming up anytime soon. I mean, it would take an injury or two to get him up here. Now, the Red Sox do want him to work on some other things before coming up, because they don't want him ending up like, I keep bringing up the example of Jackson Holiday. They don't want him to come up and struggle so bad that they have to send him back down. They want him completely ready. But from what we saw in the spring to what he's doing down in AAA right now, I think he could come up and make an impact for sure.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, he is by far probably the best hitting prospect the Red Sox have had in a long time. Maybe even going back to Pedroia, who came up as more of a balanced guy, where Roman Anthony is clearly a hitter. But they sent him down to Worcester to work on a few things. It was batting against left-handers, walk rate, strikeout rate. You know, they wanted to see better contact, better at bats out of him. He went 0 for 4 with a walk today, no strikeouts. So he's continuing to do what they asked him to do. He's only been down there a few weeks. So I do think that he's absolutely going to be up. I don't know if he's going to spend a long period of time with the Red Sox this year, because where do you put him? You're not going to, you've got Rafaela, you've got Duran, you got Abreu pretty well cemented in there because Campbell's at second. You've got Yoshida coming back. You've got Anthony, who needs at bats if he comes up, because you can't have Roman Anthony come up and be a backup. So I don't know where he fits, but he is absolutely going to be the real deal. He will be a mainstay in Boston for a long time.
Yeah, I think he hasn't played in the bigs yet. He has not. He's only 20.
Yeah, just spring training.
Yeah, just spring training. But like I said, the logjam is too much. I think the Red Sox, I think we'll see him after the trade deadline, to be honest, unless the deal gets done sooner. We kind of talked about that a little bit too. We have a few names on the trade block that we think could be moved out to make a spot for Anthony if he gets to the point like mid-May rolls around and it's like, okay, AAA can't handle this guy anymore. Like, other organizations are calling and be like, hey, can you call this guy up already? We're tired of him just pounding our pitcher's face in. But a lot of pieces need to be moved. And we said Yoshida, possibly pieces to be moved, Yoshida, Casas, Rafaela, to even create one spot for him. So, yeah, we'll see.
The Red Sox are in a tough spot because he is so like on the cusp of being major league ready, and for a lot of teams they would have brought him up already. The Red Sox are just trying not to rush him because they don't have to, and they don't want to have a situation like the Jackson Holiday we keep talking about, where he comes up and he struggles for 2 weeks, goes back down, or he comes up and he can't get regular at bats, which messes up with his development. They'd rather see him go rake in the minors. And granted, he's hitting 273 down in the minors?
Yeah, something like that.
273, 400 on base percentage. So he's putting up good numbers. He's not necessarily tearing the league apart, but his barrel rate's at like 38%. I think they said Aaron Judge is the highest barrel rate in Major League Baseball. He's at like 21. So, I mean, his advanced metrics are off the chart. They just want to see him polish a couple things before they bring him up, in the hopes that he never goes back down.
Yeah, I agree.
But what we said it going into the season, our hope is that these young guys play so well that it forces the Red Sox to make some decisions. And Campbell forced him to make a decision out of spring training. Anthony's going to force him to make a decision here soon. Marcelo Mayer's bats come alive the last handful of days. He had a big home run the other night. Yep. I mean, I think that these young guys are going to start to push the front office to make some decisions.
I agree fully. All right. Anything else for this evening?
One real quick. So this game just wrapped up, but Paxton Schultz of the Blue Jays made his debut. I couldn't think of the word. So made his debut, tying an MLB record with 4 1/3 scoreless innings, 8 strikeouts, 4 1/3 scoreless innings, most by a pitcher since making their debut.
Dang.
And came out of the bullpen. Am I reading that right? So it wasn't a starter. He came out of the bullpen and pitched in long relief. But pretty impressive for a young guy to come in and basically put out a fire and pitch that well. I mean, 4 1/3 scoreless innings from anybody is impressive. But when you do that coming in relief in your debut, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're down 6-0 when he came in.
Dang. Yeah, during the 3rd inning.
Yep.
Wow.
Pretty
Nice.
impressive. 4 1/3 scoreless, 8 Ks, major league debut. Got called into he literally got called into the manager's office at AAA Buffalo Saturday night. Jumped in a car Sunday morning and drove from Buffalo to Toronto for the game.
Wow. That's
the
cool.
literal taxi squad like the old days.
I can't even imagine what that car ride feels like.
Probably
knowing you're going.
up.
Oh yeah.
I can't imagine.
No.
Trying not to throw up and nervous as all and figuring, in the bullpen, I'm probably just gonna, sit there. There's no guarantee I'll pitch, and then boom, you get thrown right in to a game that's getting out of hand.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's awesome.
That's wild.
And listen, Blue Jays need it. I mean, we said their question mark's probably going to be pitching, although their power outage is also an issue with the Blue Jays right now. So we'll see if Guerrero and Santander can turn it around here. But I mean, you're expecting 80 home runs out of those guys, 70, 80 home runs. And you've got what, 2?
Yeah, not a lot. I mean, that team is still scoring runs, but they're not scoring nearly the clip you think they would.
Yeah.
But again, here's the Blue Jays, 12-10, 2 games out of first place behind the Yankees, sitting half a game above the Red Sox. They're doing what they do. They're hanging around. Yeah. The question becomes, how long can they do it?
Yeah.
And then the AL Central is shaping up similar to what we thought. The Tigers, Guardians, right now 1-2. The Royals are a little far behind. I think they'll be fine and come back in that squad. But those 3 are probably going to run with each other all the way to the end.
Agree. All right. Well, that will do it for us this evening. We will be back on Thursday night for our midweek show, so you can come join us then, usually around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, if you haven't already, please follow and like us on Facebook. You can subscribe on YouTube. You can follow on all the platforms. We're everywhere. Please share our podcast. We're really close to 10,000 followers on Facebook, so please share with as many people as you can. Really trying to hit that milestone. You guys were incredible in the chat tonight. All the Johns, we appreciate you. We love the discussion. That's why we're here. We're just fans talking about baseball with other fans. That's why we created this platform, because we absolutely love the back and forth with you guys. So really appreciate it. We'll be back on Thursday. Until then, enjoy some baseball. Red Sox are going to sweep the Mariners, and we will be able to talk about it Thursday.